guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm so excited for today's video. It's going to be a little different. As you can see, we are just kind of gonna have a little sit down moment in this video because I'm going to be showing you guys how I blow out my hair. I probably get requested to do this at least like once a week. I mean, it's been forever since I've done a blowout routine video, I think, so I definitely feel like this is long overdue. We all know I love a good blowout. I like to say it's just because I'm Dominican and we all know how much we love our blowouts, so I don't know if that's a valid excuse, but honestly, I don't care. I just love my blowouts, especially for this time of year. Like, it's fall, it's winter, it's finally getting cold enough to the point that us curly girls can actually wear our hair like this without it getting puffed up or messed up. So yeah, and obviously a blowout is just one of the most like classic, straightforward go-to hairstyles you can go with for like the holiday season with like special occasions coming up, maybe if you have like a holiday party coming up, or if you simply just want to be able to like blow out your hair a little bit more this season with the weather and everything. I just figured this would be the perfect time. I'm honestly trying to remember the last time I filmed a blowout routine. I know it was definitely like towards the beginning of like my channel, like when I first started. It was like within the first few months that I started my channel, but honestly it's been so long, I feel like I can't even remember. So it's definitely been updated. Like, I don't even think I had my shark yet, which is what I use to blow out my hair. So this is definitely overdue and definitely a very updated routine. So if you guys want to see how I blow out my hair, especially as a natural curly girl, see all of the products I use, from everything I use to wash my hair in the shower to my styling products, the technique that I use for drying my hair, literally everything, I'm going to go through it all with you guys step by step, in depth. Then keep on watching. Okay, I just got out of the shower. Hair is freshly washed and I've been letting it towel dry for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna let it sit for a few more minutes, so I thought I could quickly run you guys through my pre-wash routine and also what I like to use to wash my hair in the shower, because I feel like hair prep is just as important as the styling tools and all of that. I feel like the key to achieving anything with great results is the preparation you do before it. I feel the same way about makeup, with like the key to a good flawless makeup look is good skin prep. I feel like it's the same thing with hair. So first I want to show you guys kind of a little pre-wash routine that I always love to do. I usually wash my hair like 1 to 2 times a week, but at least once a week I always like to use this. This is the Miel Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil. I feel like I recently fell off my hair oiling routine these past couple of months, but I just bought a fresh bottle and I'm really trying to get back into it, especially for the fall and winter time, because it's so easy for your hair to be a lot more fragile during that time with like the weather changes and all that. And I feel like my hair tends to shed a lot more once the weather starts to get cold, so it's really important that I stay on top of my hair oiling routine, both to keep my scalp healthy and hydrated, but this also helps promote thicker and longer hair, obviously, because it has biotin. So I would say about an hour before I even get in the shower, I always use this. I just put some drops all over my scalp. I'll give myself a little scalp massage, and I think this says that you only have to leave it in for like 10 minutes, but I kind of just like to leave it in for as long as possible. So usually that'll be like an hour, or if I have some errands to run or some chores to do around the house, I will make sure to put this first thing in like the morning in my hair and just let it sit until it is time to take a shower and wash my hair. Also, before I forget, I want to mention that everything that I'm going to be using in this video is going to be linked down below, both in my Amazon storefront and my ShopMy, just so it's all in one place. If you guys are interested in any of the products that I'm using or my hair tools or anything, it'll all be down there. And especially with like the holidays being around the corner, if there's anything you guys want to add to your wish list, I feel like hair tools and like cool hair products and everything are the perfect thing to add to your list, so it'll all be down below. Okay, moving on to what I used in the shower. I'm gonna be honest, I do not use the same shampoo and conditioner every single time I shower, because I just have a bunch of different shampoos honestly in my shower that I just really love using, and so I'll kind of just rotate between all of them on a weekly basis. This is just what I happen to use today. This is the Function of Beauty shampoo specifically for curly hair. I love Function of Beauty. I was an ambassador for them at the beginning of this year, and so I really got to try out a lot of their products and really fell in love with them, mainly because you can really customize your Function of Beauty products. This video is not sponsored in any way, but I'm sure you guys have probably seen, if you decide to buy like Function of Beauty shampoo or conditioners, you can also buy any of like their little hair boosters. I'll put a picture of what they look like if you have no idea what I'm talking about, but they're like these little packets of product that you can add to your shampoo or conditioner, and there's like different ones with different purposes, and it's kind of like based on whatever your goals are for your hair. So for example, I have really dry frizzy hair, so I'll usually use like the anti-frizz pod and add that to my shampoo, and it just makes it so much more hydrating. And then I actually don't use regular conditioner that often. Like I said, I naturally have very dry, curly, frizzy hair. So I feel like the best kind of like little hair hack, and I know so many other people do this, is actually using a hair mask in place of conditioner every time I wash my hair. So not just using a hair mask once a week or like a couple of times a month. I literally use it as my conditioner. Like shampoos, I use a lot of different hair conditioners and masks, but this definitely has been a favorite of mine for the past couple of months. This is the Dove Bond Strength 10-in-1 Serum Mask. I tried this for the first time when I went to Puerto Rico because I was like, I just want to get like one hair mask to keep on me for the whole trip for like when I wash my hair and stuff, and I absolutely fell in love with it. First of all, it's definitely more on the affordable side for hair masks, which I love, but it is probably one of the most like moisturizing hair masks I've ever used, and it smells so clean. So I absolutely love this stuff. I'll put it in after I shampoo my hair, and I'll just leave it in for a few minutes while I do the rest of my shower routine. And then I will go in and detangle my hair while this is still in my hair because it makes it 10 times easier to detangle. And then I will rinse it out. So that is kind of my little pre-wash and wash routine. Again, I don't always use the same products for my wash routine, but this has definitely been a combo that I've been loving recently and just what I happen to use today. So I just wanted to show you guys. Now, like I said, my hair has been towel drying for like the past 10-ish 15 minutes. I did want to point out that this is specifically a microfiber cloth towel. Do not use a regular towel on my hair because if you didn't know, regular towel fibers can be really harsh on your hair. They can make it frizzy, cause breakage, but a microfiber towel is a lot softer. It's just a lot better for your hair. You can literally get them from like Marshalls or TJ Maxx. That's where I got this one, but it came with another one, so you can get them in like packs. You can get them from Amazon, literally anywhere. They are pretty cheap and they are really good for your hair if you like to towel dry, so definitely recommend. But now I'm going to take this down. I don't like to let it towel dry too much because I feel like with curly or textured hair, it's really important to keep as much moisture in it as possible if you're going to be straightening it, because moisture just plays a huge part in the end result. You guys will notice I actually like to keep a spray bottle of water nearby when I'm straightening my hair because sometimes certain parts of my hair, like the ends, will get dried up really fast, and it's important to keep them a little bit wet so that when I dry it, it just comes out really smooth. So I always keep some water on me. Before I apply any styling products, I actually like to go in with a hair serum. So this is not an oil and it doesn't have like a greasy consistency or anything. It's just like a liquid serum. I don't really know how to explain it, but this one my mom actually got a while ago. I think she just got it from like her local Dominican salon. They always sell the best hair products. If you know, you know. And the label has kind of rubbed off, so honestly I can't even tell like what brand this is or anything, but I do have a couple of different hair serums from other brands that I can link down below for you guys. But these are obviously different from hair oils in the way that it's not like a greasy oil that you have to wash out after and it makes your hair dirty. These you can use after you've washed and cleaned your hair, and they kind of just seep into your scalp. They kind of have the exact same purpose as the hair oil though, because they just help promote hair growth and thickness. I also just love using hair serums like this after I wash my hair or like after wearing any sort of like tension hairstyle like a slick back, because they feel really cooling and like soothing on the scalp. So especially if you have like a sensitive scalp or sensitive skin in general, I definitely recommend using a hair serum like this once in a while. Just really feels like really soothing on the scalp. And so I'm literally just applying a little bit of this everywhere, and then I just go in with my hands and rub it in a little bit. Okay, next product I'm going in with actually hasn't been a part of my usual blowout routine. I just recently started using this. L'Oreal actually sent me this product. This is the L'Oreal Everpure Bond Repair Oil in Serum. It says it repairs weak hair bonds and it has heat protection for up to 450 degrees. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of this, and I have to take off my Oura ring or else I'm just going to get product all over it. But I'm going to take some of this and just apply it to like my ends, where again I feel like it tends to be a little bit more dry, and like maybe like the front pieces of my hair, and just to give it a little bit more extra heat protection, because I am going to apply another like heat protection blowout mist, but this again just really helps for those like extra dry, like sensitive parts of my hair. Going in with the spray bottle because as you can see my hair dries up really fast and I have to keep it pretty damp in order to get a nice smooth blowout. Also, I cannot stress this enough, do not use just like any hair oil in your hair before using any sort of hot tool on it, because any normal oil that doesn't have heat protectant is basically like preparing your hair to be fried. Like if you use a regular hair oil, you are just going to fry your hair once you put the heat on it. If you're going to use an oil in your hair, please make sure it has any sort of heat protection in it, because because I remember when I first started learning how to give myself blowouts, I would use just like any hair oil or serum in my hair, and I felt like it definitely fried my hair a little bit more than it should have. So make sure the products that you're using before you actually put heat in it have heat protection. Okay, and then speaking of heat protection, like I said, I do like to go in with some sort of other like heat protecting blowout mist. This is my favorite one actually. It's like the only main form of heat protection I use. This is the Function of Beauty Styling Straight Hair Smooth With It Blowout Mist. I absolutely love this blowout mist. It is literally my holy grail when it comes to my blowouts. Like if I could only use one product to prep my hair for a blowout, it would be this. Shake it up. I love this. It does have like a very thick consistency, which is funny because it comes in like the form of a spray, but you guys will see. It's literally just like a lightweight cream mist situation. I don't even know. I just like to spray some in my hands and try to apply it evenly throughout my hair. And you guys see I'm obviously using my hands to kind of apply it all over right now, but when I section my hair too, I will then go in and use the spray to individually spray each section before I dry it, just to really protect my hair because I have curly hair. And I know that sounds like a lot, like applying the heat protectant all over like this and then going in with each section and applying even more heat protectant, but this product is not heavy at all. It's super hydrating. It doesn't weigh my hair down or like make it feel greasy after I dry it, because that's the thing. I've used so many other like blowout mists and creams before, and every time I've used them, my hair ended up being like really greasy after, or it would just kind of like weigh my hair down. But this one doesn't do that. It just keeps my hair super hydrated while also protecting it, and that is literally everything I could ever ask in a blowout mist. It also smells incredible. Like it just smells really clean and fresh. So yeah, I absolutely love this blowout mist. Now I'm just gonna go in with a powder brush. This is literally my balance curl brush, but I like to use it sometimes to just detangle my hair. It's basically detangled. I just have to like brush through it, make sure everything is nice and smooth before sectioning it and preparing it to finally be styled. Okay, so now that our hair is all prepped and protected, it is time to start parting / sectioning it and drying it. So I'm going to section my hair. Starting off, I'm simply just going to put like the top hair of my half up, so it's just like the bottom section. So literally just taking my hair as if I was doing like a half up, half down. Also, I do want to say my parts are not perfect by any means. I feel like when I'm doing my own hair, just as long as I can get the sections separated enough, that's all that matters, because obviously it's really hard. I can't really see the back of my own head, so like that part back there is not perfect by any means, so I'm not even going to show you guys, but I'm basically just putting the top half of my hair up, and then I'm just going to kind of twist it into a little bun, and then I'll just take like one of these little claw clips to keep it up there. And so now I'm just left with like that very bottom half section of my hair. With this, I am literally just going to split it down the middle, just in half like that, nothing crazy. I'm going to brush the sections out, make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, and then usually just to keep the other section out of the way while I work on one, I will just twist it up, and I'll take one of these little alligator clips and just clip it up so it's out of the way and I can focus on one section at a time. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. It is time to start drying, and sit down, get your notes ready or get mentally ready, because I'm going to try and explain my blowout technique as in-depth as possible. It is definitely more of like, you have to see it and just copy what I'm doing more than like listen to what I'm doing, because I feel like it's so weird or like hard to explain. But I'm gonna try my best, and obviously thank God this is a video, right? Because I feel like this is something I learned how to do more visually, is just by watching other people in videos do their hair. So here we go. This is what I use to style and dry my hair. This is the Shark Flex Style. It comes with a bunch of other attachments, but I am just using the like regular smaller round brush attachment right now. I do eventually switch over to the bigger round brush attachment, but that's gonna be for like the top crown section of my head. For the rest of my head, I stick to like the regular smaller size. I love the Shark. I honestly feel like this is probably the best hairstyling tool if you have curly hair. I have not used the Dyson, so I feel like I can't really compare, but just based off of like other people's experiences using this tool, like other curly girls and stuff, and also just based off of what I do know about the Dyson, I know that it doesn't use as much heat as this tool. So until I do use the Dyson, I feel like I can't really make a super educated recommendation on like which one is best, but this tool has definitely never let me down. I feel like it gives just the right amount of heat that I need. You can also adjust the heat. There's different settings. You can change the fan setting, so how powerful the air is, and of course the heat setting. I always blow dry my hair on the highest heat because again, I do have curly hair. So if I do want a very sleek blowout, I do have to use the highest form of heat. I also just feel like the brush itself is perfect for textured hair. It has a mix of bristles and also like these like plastic ones as well to really get through and get the hair straight. It's just great. And I know the Shark can still be kind of expensive even though it is more affordable than the Dyson, but I thankfully got this as a Christmas gift a couple of years ago and it has been my favorite thing ever since for my hair. So this is what I use. This is what we will be using today. I definitely would love to try out the Dyson one day just to like see the comparison, but I feel like I can't ever bring myself to like buy it. So maybe unless one day they send it to me or if I ever get it as a gift. But my Shark, I've only had it for a couple of years and it's still going very strong. So I think she's gonna be with us for a while. Okay, enough chatter. I'm gonna get started before this starts to dry up. I am going to kind of demonstrate how I go about blow drying each section of hair with you guys while this is off, because obviously if I try to explain it while this is on, you guys will not hear me because this thing is loud, unfortunately. So I'm gonna try my best to demonstrate while it's off and then you guys will just see me do it. So hopefully that's like a good way of showing you guys, just explaining and then watching me do it, and hopefully you guys can kind of get it from there. But if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to just leave them in the comments because I know this takes a lot of practice. So I always start off obviously like at the top or like the root of the hair. Okay, my muscle memory is already starting to beat me to it with my explanation, but as you can see, something I did right away was kind of wrap the ends of the hair over the barrel like that, just so it gets like a really good grip, because tension is so important for a good blowout, especially if you have textured hair. You really have to keep a good balance of the tension that you have on it in order to actually like physically get the hair straight. So just to make sure I have a good balance with the tension, I am holding the dryer on the actual like handle, and then you'll notice that there's like a little tip right here. This does not get hot specifically because you should be able to hold it to pull the barrel down, and that way you have a good amount of tension on both sides. Like you're not just like going like this where it's like tilted or like this. You want it to just be nice and horizontal, at least for like those first few passes that you're just trying to get the hair straight. We're not doing any sort of crazy twisty motions yet and like curling them. I am just getting the hair straight by holding the barrel like this and slowly going down. Usually after a couple of passes on like the last one of like just trying to get the hair straight, I will stay at the ends. And again, this is like one of those things that takes a little bit of practice, but I will drag it down and then kind of roll it up again really quickly a few times just to get the ends like really straight. The ends can get really frizzy and just messed up really easily, so it's important that you kind of do this to really get the ends nice and sleek. This is like one of those things that definitely takes a lot of practice, especially with this tool because it's actually kind of heavy. So this was like really hard for me to learn how to do, and I want to like be really in depth and even show you guys like the motions I do with my hands. Like I'm literally just using my thumb and my fingers to just pull it down, and then I'm like using my thumb to like roll it up. It's like so weird to explain, but I want to make sure I'm explaining it as in depth as possible for you guys. And again, I feel like watching and like the visuals just kind of help overall. Okay, after I go in with a few passes just to get it like straight, I will then do one pass to kind of curl it, and this is how I do it. So I kind of start off like I'm about to do a regular pass. I start at the root, I wrap the hair around, I slowly go down, and then once I'm about halfway, I will simply like twirl the barrel around while also pulling down at the same time, and I'm just continuously twisting it. This is probably the hardest thing, blow drying your hair, and you have to be really careful with this little technique because it can be really easy to get your hair stuck in the barrel, which we don't want. And also which way you twist it depends on like which way you want the curl going. Most of the time I do like the curl kind of going inward, like towards my face, so I twist the barrel inward, but you could also put the barrel under the hair, start brushing it down, and then twist it outward. And as you can see, I accidentally just got my hair stuck in the barrel, which is what we want to avoid. So it takes a lot of practice. Even me, like I've really learned how to blow dry my own hair, and sometimes I still like up. So now that I've kind of explained it a little bit to you guys, I am going to literally just do it so you can see it all in action. I'll re-explain it again for maybe like a couple of other sections and then do the rest of my head. And after I blow dry it, I'll just kind of go in and twist the hair like that with my hand. And it just kind of helps it like be a little bit more sleek and get rid of any puffiness. Okay, and then right away, this is my, not really secret because I feel like everyone knows that Velcro rollers are one of the best ways to get a lot of volume in your blowouts, but I guess you can say this is like my key to getting volume, and that is Velcro rollers. I literally have so many, I just keep them in this like little Victoria's Secret bag, but you can get Velcro rollers literally anywhere for so cheap, and they are the best thing for giving your hair that bouncy, voluminous blowout. So I'm taking like a pretty normal size roller, I would say. It's a pretty average size roller, and usually as soon as I'm done drying the hair, before it even gets the chance to cool down, I will take the roller. I like to kind of start at the top and then do this thing where I like brush it down so it gets the hair like nice and smooth. Again, rollers are one of those things where it's kind of like up to you how you want to do it, because it all depends on like the direction you want all of like the curls to be going in. I would say for the most part, I like it to be going like inward, but sometimes I literally just put the rollers like all in different directions. I feel like that's like the key to just getting a super fluffy, super voluminous blowout, is if you have the curls going in like all sorts of different directions. But for the bottom sections at least, I like to put the roller behind the piece of hair, wrap the ends under and over, and then I will start to roll it up. You want to make sure you keep it nice and tight all the way up to the root. And then I'm actually just going to take the alligator clip that I have holding the other section up and use that to secure the roller. And there we go. That is like a very in-depth step-by-step on how I blow dry even just a single strand. I'm going to explain it once again a little bit more quickly for the other side. Something you guys probably noticed that I didn't even explain when I was doing the other side is that when I'm starting off by just doing those like regular passes just to get the hair straight, I actually alternate with like placing the barrel both in front of the strand and also behind. This is just so I can get like a nice even amount of heat applied throughout the whole piece of hair. And so I'll literally just like start off by doing it in the front, and then I'll switch, put it behind the hair, go down. I don't know, I just feel like that's something I kind of do naturally, again, to get the heat application nice and even. But once again, I'm literally just going to be starting by placing the barrel at the root, wrapping the ends over it, making sure to hold the tool on both sides, both at the main handle and the little tip, and slowly just pulling it down, getting it nice and straight. Again, alternating here into the back, kind of doing the same thing. Do that a few times, and then I'll go to the ends again, rotate it really quickly at the ends, making sure they get really nice and sleek. And then I will curl it by, again, starting off at the root, wrapping the ends over as I always start, and then pulling down about halfway. And then as you can see, the tool is horizontal right now. I'm literally just gonna take it, turn it so that it's vertical, kind of like a clock, and then slowly start to wrap it around while also pulling down slowly at the same time. I say slowly, but once I'm actually doing it, you guys will literally see how fast I do it, but that's literally only because I've been doing this for so long and it's like muscle memory at this point. But and if you are just starting off with like blow drying your hair, please take your time, do it slowly. I don't want you to like rip your hair out or anything, because I felt like that happened to me a lot when I was learning. So take it slow, take it easy, just practice, and I promise it'll get there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go in, twirl the hair a little. Once again, taking my Velcro roller, I'm going to put it underneath, brush it all the way down, wrap the ends, and then as tightly as possible, roll it up. Taking an alligator clip. I was about to put it the wrong way, but just put it in like that. Sometimes the other rollers tend to like loosen up as I'm doing the rest of my hair, so I'll just like go in and fix it. And there we go. First two sections, bottom section is already done. Obviously, how many rollers or sections you end up having to dry depends on how much hair you have. I would say I have like a pretty average amount of hair. Like I definitely don't have like a lot of hair, especially like I used to when I was younger. My hair is not super thick either. I wouldn't say it's also like really thin, but it's definitely on the thinner side. So it is all up to you and how much hair you have, obviously. But now we're going to be moving on to the side sections of my head. So to part those, It's kind of just like doing a side part just to kind of start. Also, I should be using like a comb to make this easier, but I'm literally just being such a girl right now and using my nails. But yeah, I kind of just try to do like a side part like that, but make sure it goes like all the way back, obviously. I'm just gonna take the other side and like the crown of my head and just try and clip it all off to one side so it's out of the way. Of course, it gets a little messy, just kind of go in and smooth it out with a brush. Also, if I'm looking this way, it's because this is where my vanity mirror is and I can't see everything that I'm doing that good in the viewfinder, so I'm just like looking this way so that I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, so obviously I've kind of sectioned off the whole side of my head like as a whole, but now to further section it, because obviously this is a really thick section of hair, I'm not going to be able to dry it all at once like this. I will then just take the section and I will kind of go like across or like horizontally and split this two halves. So like there's a bottom side section and a top half section. I'm just gonna redo it so it's like a little better, but and part it like that. And I'm gonna start with the bottom section. So I'm gonna clip the top side section up and away. And then we're going to section even more. I know it seems like really tedious to do this much sectioning, but sectioning can actually like make or break a blowout, I swear. Because if you have like too much hair in one section, it doesn't dry as well. So it's really important that you kind of section off just the right amount of hair to blow dry. Anyways, taking this bottom side section, like I said, and this time I'm going to section this off down the middle, like vertically, and split those two in half. So this back piece is a little thicker and then this one's like a little thinner, but I'm just going to put this now out of the way because I'm actually going to start with this back bottom section. For like the smaller front sections, I will always go in with a smaller roller like this. So again, just going in and brushing through the hair, going under and then wrapping the ends. And then just rolling her up. And then for the smaller sections, to like pin them, I usually just like to use these like smaller creaseless clips. I usually always get a pack of these from like TJ Maxx, but of course you can get them on like Amazon or literally wherever. Now I'm going to do the top half of this side section. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. My dad is watching a movie and my bedroom is like right next to the living room TV. It's really annoying, but taking this top half section, and now I'm gonna do the same thing where I just part it down the middle like that. I don't even know if you guys can really see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna hope so. I'm gonna start with the back section, so I'm just gonna get the front section out of the way first. Okay, and just like that, we are basically halfway done. I just completed one side of my head, so now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I am going to do it off camera just because if I try to record all of it, this video is going to get very long, but I am literally just doing exactly what I did on this side to the other side. The way I section the hair, everything is the exact same. And then once I do this side, it'll then be time to move on to the top slash crown section of my head, which can be a little bit different. And I also switch over to a bigger attachment for the top of my head. So I'm going to show you guys all of that in just a moment. But first, I'm just going to do everything I did on this side, on the other side, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and both sides of my head are done. And now it's time to move on to the most exhausting section, which is the crown section. So funny because it is the most like tiring part of the blowout process, and it also so happens to be the last part. So as if I'm not already exhausted enough from doing all the other sections, this is like the final challenge. I'm actually gonna move you guys up a little bit, so it might look a little weird here, but that way you guys can actually see what I'm doing on the very top of my head. I also cracked open my window because it was starting to get really like stuffy and smoky in here from the dryer, so I apologize if you hear any like street noise. But for the crown section of my head, because I feel like the top section of my hair is a lot thicker than the rest of my hair, I like to switch over from the small round brush to the bigger one. So I'm just gonna take this off. You just like press this thing down to like unlock it and take it off, and then I'm gonna take the bigger round brush, unlock the thing, click it in there, and this is what I'm going to be using for the crown section. I am going to eventually switch back over to the smaller round brush for my bangs, but for the most part, for that top section, I do like to use the bigger brush. So I'm just going to take this down. I already went ahead and tried to like smooth it out a little bit again. I feel like the top is so hard to part like perfectly across because I literally just can't really see what I'm doing that well, but I try to do like 3 main sections, so I do like 2 parts across like that. So I'm starting off here in the back, clipping the rest out of the way, and I'm going to start with this very back section. Also, no, I do not have any rollers in the very back of my hair because I genuinely cannot reach back there, so I am not going to show you guys what the back looks like right now because frankly that's none of my business. For the crown sections, I'm going to take the brush. I usually start with it behind the section like this, let the and just kind of fall over on their own. And this, I will kind of tilt my head down because this is what makes it a little easier to do like on my arms and stuff. So I'll tilt my head down. We'll start to pass by just pulling kind of upwards because I feel like this is what helps with the volume. Once I start getting to those ends, obviously I'll kind of use my other hand to let the section fall forward on and not just like all over the place. And then I will alternate between going behind the section and also in front and wrapping that over and passing upwards. Again, just so that there's like an even distribution of heat and everything. I will literally just keep doing that until it's nice and straight. And brush is in front of the section like this is when I like to take it to get the ends all nice and sleek like I do with all the other ones. And then to do like the little curl twisty action, I will put the barrel behind the section of hair, wrap it over. I'll tilt my head to the side. This is like literally so dramatic, I swear, like the way I'm explaining everything, but I'll kind of tilt my head to the side that I'm pulling so that I can pull until it's halfway, and then hold on, this is like kind of hard to do because it's not actually on, but pull and then slowly twist and release like out to the side so it just falls there and it's easy to grab and then put in the roller. It's literally just like how I've been doing all the other sections. It's just the placement is a lot more awkward, but let's do it. That was only the first piece of that section and I'm genuinely like sweating. My arms are getting out. It's okay though, we are almost there. I am literally going to take the like biggest rollers that I have. These are probably like, what, like maybe 2 inches? I don't even know the size of the rollers, but they're the biggest ones I have. And I'm going to take the roller, put it behind the strand of hair. I'm going to brush it up so I can wrap the ends. Look how I'm trying to show you guys this. I am like literally slouched all the way into my chair right now so you guys can see, but once I kind of have the ends wrapped around, I am just going to roll it down. And I always run out of hair clips, so I might have to find more, but I don't know why. I never have enough. I need to like buy more, but okay, I found one. So I'm just going to put this, and there you go. That is basically how I do those like middle crown sections of my hair. I'm gonna do another part right here. I'm taking another big roller, once again just putting it behind the section, wrapping the ends over and under, and then rolling it down. And on the side, usually these clips are long enough to go through the entire roller because I know there's some people that like to clip like both sides down for extra security, but these kind of go all the way through so I don't really have to pin it on both sides. Okay, so we're done with like the 2 bigger sections. Those are the only sections that I use like those really big rollers for because they're a little bit thicker, but now all that's left is one more section that comes before my bangs. It's kind of just like my layers, if that makes sense, and then the bangs. So for these, I am gonna go ahead and switch back on over to the smaller round brush, and I will be using like smaller rollers for the front sections as well after I dry them, but just gonna go in and wet them a little bit because they tend to dry up pretty quickly. I've seen like a lot of people actually say that when you start blow drying your hair, you should actually start with your bangs since they're like the first thing to dry naturally. I've never actually tried doing that, but maybe I should because they really do dry so fast, and then I always have to end up like re-wetting them with the spray bottle. All right, I'm basically just going to separate my bangs from like that first top layer, just like that. Just gonna clip my bangs out of the way. One of the little mini claw clips that I have. Okay, now I'm just going to blow dry that first top layer. Okay, for this top layer, I'm just switching back to one of those like regular size rollers that I used for most of the sections. Okay, this one I have to use smaller clips for it because I'm running out, so I am going to pin this one down on both sides. Okay, and now all that's left are my bangs. I'm actually gonna put you guys down a little bit now that I'm not really doing like the top anymore. Oh my god, it looks so shiny. We love that. Okay, now I'm just going to take a roller. This is about the same size as like the hot pink ones. I would say it's like a tiny bit smaller, but for the bangs, I like to put the roller behind and have them away from my face. I know that there's a lot of people that like to have the bangs like going towards their face like that. I feel like this is better if you have shorter bangs. Honestly, I kind of switch it up every time. Sometimes I have it like this. Sometimes I like it away from my face. It kind of depends. I feel like it does give you a different look, whichever one you do, but I think I'm just gonna have them going away from my face for now. Doesn't really matter what you decide to do on the day that you style it because you can always switch it up, but I'm just going to put a pin right through, and just like that, we are done, kind of. Obviously I still have to take the rollers out, but I like to let my rollers sit for literally as long as possible. If like, let's say I am getting ready for something that I have to get ready for like a specific time, and like, or I'm just in a time crunch, I would say at least 15 to 20 minutes. I like to let them sit. But whether I have plans or not, if it's like not until the end of the day and I have time to blow out my hair earlier in the day, I will literally like do my hair in the morning, put the rollers in, and I will have these sit like all day if I don't have like anything else to do, because I feel like that's what gives you like the bounciest, most voluminous blowout. I don't really have anywhere to go right away right now, so I'm literally just going to let these sit probably for like 20 minutes. I could let them sit longer, but since I am filming this and I want to finish this video eventually, I'm just gonna let them sit for like 20 minutes. Perfectly fine amount of time. I'm probably just gonna do some like content work or whatever, and then once I feel like these have been sitting for a good amount of time, I will take them out, do the finishing touches, and show you guys the final results. Okay, I'm back. It's been a little while, so I'm going to take out my rollers now. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. I just take out the clips. And I would say the biggest thing when taking out your rollers is to not just like yank or pull them out, because that's gonna pull on your hair and cause breakage. Instead, you kind of just want to twist and like unravel them. This is also what's gonna help give you that bouncy curl. Just like that. It looks a little funky too, like when I first take it out, but obviously the curls will start to fall a little bit, and once I take all of them out, I'm gonna like run my hands through my hair, play around with it, and it's gonna look a little bit more like normal. But usually when I first take them out, they look a little like crazy or frizzy, but we're going to fix that in a second. Also, kind of like whenever I was doing the little twisty trick with the blow dryer, depending on what way you want the curl to go will help you determine what direction to kind of untwist the roller in. Okay, and then I know I literally look insane right now, like I can't even see you guys, but now I'm just gonna go in with some hair oil. Really any kind of hair oil you like. This, just any oil should work. And then I'm literally just going to play around with it. Obviously it looks absolutely insane at first because the amount of volume is just insane, but we'll run this through my ends. I kind of like to do this thing where like just like twist up all my hair with the oil and let it fall, just to really bring out the curl and the shape of everything. And then honestly, you just kind of have to play around with it for a while when you use rollers, because it really does look so crazy when you first take them out. Sometimes I will even go back in with the dryer, just like on top, like here, where I feel like it's a little too much. That always makes the biggest difference, just having to calm it down a little bit up there. But and then from here, I feel like most of the time I do like a middle part like this, but of course you could always just like flip it around, do a little side part situation. I feel like I'd have to play with it a little bit more in order to do like a side part, but I think I'm just gonna keep it in the middle for now. My hair is getting really long again. I just have like a lot of layers because I got a curly cut back in the summer. But in terms of like the actual like bottom layer length, it's getting really long, which is pretty typical for me around this time of year, like fall, winter, because usually I keep my hair shorter and I always cut it like during the summertime, and then it grows really long, and I kind of like to keep it long for the fall and winter. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you feel pretty after following this tutorial. I figured it would be just in time for the holiday season. I know a lot of the girls like to get blowouts and just get all ready and prepped for the holiday season and all the parties and everything. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.